Hey guys, I'm Ben and welcome to another episode of Underground Reviews. When death metal was beginning to stagnate somewhat at the turn of the century, one band stood out from the crowd and reminded us all that the genre wasn't only not dying, but was still brimming with life and vibrancy. That band, of course, was the Polish powerhouse Decapitated. And that album, released in 2000, was the drop-dead classic debut album, Winds of Creation. The guys were not done there though. Bringing forth an extremely high level of proficiency, Decapitated continued to release 3 more outstanding albums in 2002's Nihility, which is still a fan favorite to many and is pure perfected insanity. To 2004's The Negation, which continued the technical perfection and blended with true death metal power and ferocity. And finally, 2006's Organic Hallucinosis, which divided some fans at the time, but now is also widely regarded as a classic. Unfortunately, while touring Organic Hallucinosis, their tour bus collided with an oncoming truck hauling wood. This incident sadly would leave singer Koven, I'm not going to say their names because they've got these crazy Polish names which I am shit at pronouncing, and you've all seen me fuck up people's names, so I'm going to use their stage names. Koven was landed himself in a coma, sadly, and their amazing drummer Vitek would lose his life a few days later due to his injuries. This was obviously a huge blow to the band, and especially Vitek's brother and primary songwriter and guitarist, Vog. After a few years recording and touring with fellow Poles Vader for their Necropolis album, Vog would put word out to recruit new members to restart Decapitated once again. With Coven unfortunately still enduring a very slow recovery and unable to rejoin, a whole new lineup was assembled. In mid-2009, Vog stated, "It has been the hardest thing for me to move on without Vitek by my side, but he would have wanted me to continue with the band. Finally, I've found some great musicians who can continue the work of Vitek and Coven. There's no sense in stopping this amazing thing we built up so many years ago together with Vitek, Sauron, Martin, and Coven." Close quotes. The new lineup returned in 2011 with the album Carnival is Forever, and followed up with Blood Mantra in 2014 and 2017's Anti-Cult. While the band was still arguably technical death metal, the overall sound and feel of the band had changed somewhat, understandably, incorporating a little more diversity into the compositions, while at times not being maybe quite as intricate as on the first run of albums. During the Anti-Cult tour, Decapitated once again faced a terrible ordeal in the form of false accusations of rape while on tour in California. After the band's arrest and more evidence coming to light, thankfully the band was cleared and all charges were dropped. This, along with surviving another bus crash and a plane crash, makes Decapitated one of the most unstoppable bands in all metal. It's simply amazing, really, that with all that they've been through, that they've managed to survive it all and prosper creatively. Anyway, that brings us up to date with their latest offering, the aptly titled Cancer Culture. I think we can all relate to that title in these times. Here we see Decapitated at their most diverse yet. Cancer Culture preserves their legacy of technical prowess while also adding large doses of melody and rhythmic diversity and dissonance, all flavored with their trademark groove. They open with sort of militaristic drumming and ominous sounding guitars on the track From the Nothingness with Love, before exploding into the title track, and it's absolutely glorious. Loaded with groove and aggression, but also allowing the sort of occasional softer moments to open up and breathe before returning to the onslaught. It's done with total control and expertise. Just a Cigarette follows and mixes dissonance, melody, and emotion seamlessly. It's another standout. Another interesting feature of Cancer Culture is the two guest appearances. Firstly, on the fantastic song Hallow Death, they have Tatiana Shmeyuk from the band Ginger, providing some very nice, clean vocals that float above Vogue's crazy, intricate riffing, creating a real wonderful juxtaposition. This is sort of quite unexpected on a Decapitated album, and some might see it as, a sellout or some such nonsense. But personally, I think, as always, they handle it perfectly. Next, they also brought in Machine Head's very own Rob Flynn to add clean vocals to the equally excellent track Iconoclast. A straight for the jugular, grooving death metal track that also explores some goosebump-inducing moodiness with Rob's clean singing. Every song on Cancel Culture is fantastic, but other standouts are the insanity unleashed of Locked and the unusual coolness of Ours as battlegrounds. Everything on Cancel Culture sounds fantastic too. Huge yet defined production sounds serve to highlight Vogue's fantastic and unique riffing and creative solos. The drumming from James Stewart is fantastic, and I really think Vitek would be proud. Ruster once again does a great job delivering the growls with precision and perfect placement. I know he gets some criticism, but I just don't get it. I think he does a good job. As a huge fan of their first run of albums with VTech, I never fully warmed to the newer albums as much. However, listening to Cancer Culture has reawakened my love for Decapitated. I think it's the best of their new albums, their new era albums, I should say, and I love every pulverizing second of it. There's enough of their familiar classic technical bludgeoning while also bringing a freshness to the table and integrating it masterfully by a band at the peak of their compositional powers. Highly recommended. So how would I rate this one? I would happily give this one a solid 9 out of 10. This is a fantastic album, so go check it out. Go see them when they come around on tour, and yeah, give them some love. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Stay metal, and see you next time.